Today, we're going to share with you the community building formula that we use and teach our clients to be able to grow on social media. Hi, everyone. Welcome to The Hub, the exclusively on Clapper live series about digital marketing and online presence. My name is Saja.
And I'm Chantel, and we're the co-owner of Sparks Multimedia.
Yeah, we've been owning this agency for almost 3 years now, and this is what we do day in and day out. We're digital marketers and also digital nomads. And so, with everything that we've learned in the realm of digital marketing, we've been able to grow our own community in our travel page. We've been able to grow also other people's communities and their brands. And today, we're actually going to be sharing with you a topic that is very, very often overlooked, but it's one of the most important ones. And the topic is
How to build your community.
so the way we decided to bring this to you today is through a formula. So that's why the episode is called the community building formula, because we did notice that larger corporations and smaller creators, they all had these 3 points in common when they were successfully growing their communities online. And so today we're going to share with you the community building formula that we use and teach our clients to be able to grow on social media. And we're going to show you how you can use it too as well, and how you can implement all of these things to grow your online communities, whether you're a creator, an entrepreneur, or
Just a
freelancer, or just someone looking to grow your brand.
Or you just want to share with your family something. Like we started basically traveling the world and just really wanting to share our experiences with our family. And then it kind of just grew into something that we kind of never expected. So that was really exciting. And yeah, we grew it. And through that, we learned a lot. And that's why we want to obviously bring this to you so we can share our experience with you, like Saja was saying.
Going right into the topic, we are going to explain to you the 3 main segments of the community building formula. So in order to build a community, what we were talking about earlier, like a good analogy is kind of, you need 3 elements like you need to build a fire. If one of the elements is missing, the community essentially could be there, but it will be weak, or either it just won't grow at all. The first of those elements is great branding. So as in anything you're doing on social media or in actual marketing, that traditional marketing forms, if you don't have a solid branding, you're just not getting anywhere. So that's the number 1 step. The number 2 is
authenticity. So it's very, 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 very important, and we can't stress this enough, that being authentic online is always the way to go. So we will be talking about that as well, and why it's important to building your community. And the third one is
the most important of all. So when you're building a fire, you have air, or like oxygen. You have like the feed, the wood, or whatever you're making it with, and then you have the ignition, like you have the spark that lights up your fire. This third element is that spark. Like without that, if you have the 2 first ones but you don't have the third one, your community is just not sparking. It's not going to start growing, and that is two-way engagement. So it's so often overlooked, and we are going to dive into it a little bit deeper later on how you can use two-way engagement to start growing your community. And it's not as obvious as it seems, but it's a lot simpler to do.
Yeah. And we'll show you using our personal experience as well as larger brands that you can maybe relate to. So let's hop right into the first one, which is great branding. What makes somebody really want to be part of a community is when you create a great brand. So creating a great brand, if you think of the top brands in the world, such as Nike, Starbucks, Amazon, what do they all have in common? And that is great branding. Wherever you go in the world, online, you see a unified brand that's concise throughout everything. So when you're going into a Starbucks, you walk into a Starbucks, you know exactly what you're gonna get. You're gonna get your exact coffee the way you want it made. They're selling you an experience, not just the coffee, right? So you go into a Starbucks, you order your coffee, you get it exactly how it's made. The barista asks for your name, they call out your name, and you walk out of that Starbucks feeling special. You take a picture with it, you post it online, you walk into work with it. they've created this brand of being unique, bougie, without saying it. You just feel it. It's an experience, and that's why they can charge $7 for a coffee versus going to Dunkin' Donuts and paying $2 for a coffee. What's really the difference, right?
The difference is really that the branding not only looks consistent and not only looks good. Obviously the coffee shops look elevated, the logo looks elevated, the drinks look elevated, but the branding goes beyond that with the treatment that you receive, the service, you can get your drink done so many times, they write your name on the cup. All of those things are part of the brand that you're experiencing without even noticing. So
it's personalization. Then they even have like the cups that they sell around the world. Like when we started traveling, my aunt, she told me, she's like, hey, when you're here and here and here, can you get me a Starbucks mug? And I'm like, out of everything you could have asked for in the world, you want a Starbucks mug from everywhere we've gone. Clearly that couldn't happen because, we've been to so many places, but it's one of those things where they've created such a brand around that. You want to collect all these mugs, you want to be part of this experience. They have the reward system that people, they feel like, ooh, and how many times have you it's your birthday and you're like checking off the things that you're gonna do, and one of the things you're gonna do is go to Starbucks and get that free beverage. Or the ultimate Christmas, not Christmas, Halloween rolls around, Thanksgiving rolls around, then what are you gonna do? Pumpkin spice latte. You're gonna go, like, I know all the other brands have tried to copy them, but essentially you're going to Starbucks to have that pumpkin spice latte,
and
right?
Everyone just wants that experience and to be a part of that community just because of the amazing branding that originates everything else. Same thing applies to other companies like Nike, for example. They promote their products with using athletes that are top of the top, right? Venus Williams, Serena Williams,
LeBron James, Cristiano Ronaldo. They got all the elite athletes in the world.
And so what this does is that the brand reflects not only obviously a good aesthetic and the logo looks cute and the tagline is empowering, just do it, but also you start looking up to the brand as, okay, this means I'm going to be healthier, this means I'm going to be a top performing person, this means I'm going to be cooler, that you're going to feel empowered because you're wearing the brand. So branding doesn't only stop with a great tagline and a great branding, it also goes beyond the brand. So what that can look like for a smaller creator, for someone that's just getting started on social media, and in order to get your community going and get people attached to your brand, it can look like, for example, a personalized note. You're giving that example earlier of like someone that's packaging orders of handmade items, and you can write the person's name or write a personalized note. I had so much fun creating this set of necklace for you, and let's just say they're a pair of Grinch earrings, right? You can say, personally, I love the Grinch too so much. I'm so happy that I could find a customer like you that also appreciates the movie so much that you want to wear my jewelry. Whenever the person receives that order and they see that they have a little personalized note, they're like, oh my God, wow, they noticed me, right? And that doesn't only show that they are a part of your business, an important part of it, but it says things about your brand. It says that you care about the people, that you are personalized, that you are going the extra mile. So those are little ways that you can do it as well as a smaller creator.
And I think that something that gets overlooked, especially for new businesses starting out, and I've done it so many times just starting out, is not having a proper brand voice and mission. Every company should have a mission, whether you're an entrepreneur just on your own and just getting started, or you're a large company. You need a mission, because when you're creating your brand and you have a mission behind it and you're able to share that mission with other people, that's how you create a community. Because people not only want to become customers, but they also want to be part of your mission. Like Sajid was saying earlier, in terms of like Nike, they promote health and wellness through their commercials, through their branding, through collaborating with people who live and breathe health and fitness, right? Their mission is to essentially empower everyone to be fit and healthy. You're not just buying a shoe. You're buying into a whole mission, a brand,
a vision, lifestyle,
a community, right? So you walk outside, you're wearing some cool Jordans. You're already part of a community. You see someone else with those shoes. You know, like it's a very they created an exclusivity, like a brand. So that's what you kind of excuse me, have to do with your company, no matter what, even if you're just getting started. And that's something that does get overlooked a lot when especially when we start working with even larger companies. Sometimes we're shocked. We're like, oh my God, you have no mission, you have no voice, you have no, so
yeah,
that should be number one.
Going into the next part of our community building formula, we have the element of authenticity. And this is one of the elements that we find people have the most resistance to when they get started on social media because of the fear of judgment. So it's even what stops people from having their own personal social media accounts and posting a passion video, like their art or anything that they care about that's not necessarily a business. It's that same fear that gets transferred whenever they're trying to start a business or do a freelancing or share something with their communities online. And because of that fear, people don't dare to be themselves. They don't dare to be authentic. And if this is you, well, today we're here to change your mind.
We actually specialize in bringing people out of their shell. We get this all the time with clients where, we have to kind of like hold their hand at the beginning of working with them. And start small, because, we get people like, we don't want to dance. We don't want to do these things. We don't want to do that. I don't want to look stupid. But slowly but surely, there's some dancing that gets on eventually, depending on obviously what their niche is and whatnot. But it's just getting started, really. Just whatever you feel the most comfortable with, even if it's not comfortable at all. Like, to be honest with you, doing a live is not really comfortable for me. I've never really done a live. So this is stepping out of my comfort zone. And sometimes you just got to do, you got to do the risk and reward situation. So yeah.
Authenticity is one of those things that when you do dare to be yourself and when you do dare to step outside of your comfort zone, you're going to be rewarded so much because of the powerful community effect that it has. So for example, people might fear, well, people are going to judge me. They're going to think that I sound silly or I'm unprofessional and whatnot. A good example for this is Chantal likes to swear a lot. Yeah. So whenever we actually have client meetings at Sparks, our digital marketing agency, we're kind of, hit or miss. Like, how comfortable are we with these people? And there comes a time where we realized it doesn't matter. Ultimately, whenever we felt like we had to be so button-up shirt and we had to be so professional and like prove ourselves in a way that wasn't authentic to us, we realized that those people were not the right clients for us.
Yeah.
Whenever we did sign some people like that, we realized ultimately, you know what, like this was never gonna work, and they're definitely not our vibe, and we're never gonna get anywhere, because even to make content for them, we're not gonna get anywhere. So it's the same for you and for whatever community you're trying to build. If someone doesn't like purple hair and you're you're a nurse injector with purple hair, well, they're not going to go to your clinic or to your clinic. Yeah. But maybe there is people that love purple hair, and there is people that love, a good example for this is tattoo freckles. So there's these people that do tattoo freckles that are colorful, and it is like a really outside of the box look. And as a tattoo artist, to go into that and to start making that technique of tattoo is kind of risky. It's like, I'm putting this out there only for a few select people. But I've seen this tattoo artist that only specializes in doing tattoo freckles that are rainbow colored. And the people that go there, they leave so happy and they go there. Like, she's not broke. She's not struggling for clients. She has a raging community on TikTok of people that love what she does. And it's only because she dared to do what she loves, what she thought was aesthetically pleasing. And she ultimately found in the algorithm, in social media, by being herself, the community that matched that passion and that personality. And that's ultimately the goal when you're trying to be authentic, and why it's so important for fostering community, because you don't want to connect anyways with people that are going to judge you.
I think like even for us, a big, like touching on what Sajo was saying earlier, a big thing for us was, because we do have our company page, which, I mean, I like to keep it a little bit more professional than our travel page, but also our travel page is open, and that's just us being us. So one of the things that I struggled with, especially at the beginning of our page, was, what do I share? How about if a client lands on our page, and will they judge me? Will they not want to work with me? But in fact, I think it's actually worked in our benefit, because people, they see who we are, and like through our page, we're just authentically ourselves. And then when we work with them, obviously there's that level of professionalism, but we're always just ourselves, like the way we are on our stories on our Couple of Beaches pages, which is our travel page, is the exact same way that we are with them. So it also builds that authenticity. A lot of people, they go into the social media world, and they're like, okay, what do I do? They go, let's just say, for example, you're trying to sell candles, right? You're gonna go, who's the best candle seller? Aroma candles, Bath and Body Works,
Yeah.
like those type. You're gonna go on their brand, on their pages, and you're gonna try to copy what they're doing, because you're like, oh my god, I want to be like them. That does not work. Unfortunately, that does not work. It's really good to go into your niche and look at those people. If you're trying to sell candles, look at what Bath and Body Works is doing. Look at what other brands are doing within your niche or similar niches, but do not copy them. See what are some of the things that you can apply to your business. So going back to the example that Saja gave, when you go into a Starbucks, they write your name, they make it so personalized, right? That's something that you can apply to really any business. So if you have a candle company and you're making a candle, you can, instead of just packaging it in a box and packaging it in a box and mailing it to the person, why not create a little card and just write their person's name? It could just be as simple as that. Maybe you want to sit and you actually do want to write a personalized message.
Maybe add some stickers.
Add some stickers. When that person opens that box, they're instantly gonna, and reads that note, they're gonna already feel like they know you, and that you cared for them, that you put that personalization. So what's gonna happen? They're gonna post you on their socials. Their friends are gonna see it. Not only are you building referrals, but you're also building your community, because now that person feels special. What do they want to do next? Who are they going to go to when they want to buy a second candle? Are they going to go to Bath and Body Works, or are they going to go to you? When I've been to Bath and Body Works, they never ask me for my name. They don't care. They're just a big corporation, right? So if I want that personalization, I'm going to go back to that same person who did that. And it might not work for everybody, but it does work for a lot of people, and you can see that. So that's just an example of something that is very little effort on your end that can really make a big difference in building your community. One of the biggest struggles of a lot of companies have, and people in general, is that everyone, when you lose authenticity doing this, is everyone wants to be like super professional on when they post for their brand, because they don't want to be like I want to have everything like perfect. I want to hire a photographer. I want to hire this, but then you lose the authenticity of everything. And people don't want that.
That's the first thing people do when starting an Instagram, or even like us on Clapper. Like, we realized when we joined, we're like, okay, we're not ready to post. How do we start interacting? And then we started noticing that it's just a matter of just getting it done. Like, you hop on this live, you talk to people. We're struggling right now. Like, this is our first live ever, so we're nervous. We're not knowing really where to transition, and you
It's
know,
okay. You
it's
make
fine.
mistakes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fine. It doesn't mean you're unprofessional. It doesn't mean you don't know your stuff. It just means that you're trying. And ultimately, when you're building a community, showing that part of the process, showing your weaknesses and your strengths is what's going to help you connect the most with people. So one of the tools actually that we tell our clients to use the most in order to connect with people like that and to show not only their parts a little bit more unfiltered, but unedited as well, is stories or just long form videos, chit chatting, getting their makeup done, type of videos where they're just talking like this that are unedited.
Unedited,
Yeah.
honest,
So that
raw.
people can see what they're like conversationally, not just with a topic that they're trying to show them or with a product video or anything like that. And people do connect with those things the most. And one of the greatest examples that we
Now
found,
you can finally say it.
and the funniest part is that you're the one that always brings this up. But yeah, so one of the biggest examples of this that we've seen across the years is Chipotle. When they shared, actually one of their employees shared with their phone, like their iPhone camera that was dirty. They were in the back making the rice, and I guess the fans of Chipotle just loved the rice at Chipotle, and their online communities went crazy. Everyone was so excited to see how this rice was getting done, and it was, I think, their most performing video of the year.
It was the highest performing video of all their videos.
Yeah,
Including videos that probably they spent thousands of dollars
to
record,
and produce.
But because when you spend thousands of dollars trying to, or even hundreds of dollars, or everything looks so edited, it looks like a commercial, and
It's unrelatable.
who wants to see a commercial? Not a lot of people, right? So that's why when that video, when I heard this story about this Chipotle, I was like, wow, like
That's insane.
That's insane. Like, imagine a company that has thousands and thousands of dollars to spend on marketing, and then they sorry, we just our friend just coming in. What was I saying?
You were saying, imagine a company that
has thousands
millions
of dollars
to spend on advertising.
on marketing. But the thing that works the best is a video of just one of their employees
stirring rice,
just stirring rice in the back, and that went viral.
And
so,
why? Because it's relatable, it's unedited, it shows the behind the scenes, and ultimately it gets people talking to one another about something that they commonly like about the brand, which was the rice in this case. So think about it. Next time you're trying to grow your community, if something's not working, check how authentic you're being, check how transparent you're being, check, maybe do something outside of your comfort zone, do something that you wouldn't dare to do before, and see how people react to that authenticity coming from you.
Yeah, a lot of our clients, what they struggle with the most is essentially going on their stories. And why? Because you have to be on the spur of the moment, think of something, and everything is like has to be edited for most people because they're afraid to mess up. But that there's just a charm in that, right? Like, people like that. You be silly, you be yourself. That's how people get to know you, because they know, like, everyone, like, if you're on Instagram and you see a very edited post, like, you know that person probably recorded that like 2 or 3 times, edited, and they perfected it. They maybe edited their appearance, who knows, right? But when you see somebody on their stories, you know that they can't edit it. They can't really edit it, like, for the most part. Anyways, you can, but for the most part, they're doing that live, right? And that's why we actually really, really like Clapper, because Clapper is pretty much all about that, right? Clapper is, you don't have to edit it, and it's raw. And I think that's why I think Clapper is gonna do is they're already doing phenomenal, but I think they're really gonna blow up because of that. And we've seen that with TikTok. Why did TikTok blow up over like Instagram? Well, because people liked posting authentic things, right?
People loved unhinged topics, unhinged videos, the most ridiculous things that people have to share and post, the most outrageous stories. That's what performs the best. And it's because people are connecting through that. It's like, you were never able to share that before, and now you are. And so, yeah, maybe try that next time you're trying to build your community, which brings us to the third point of our formula in order to grow your community, which is, like we mentioned before, the third point, the most important of all. If you have solid branding, if you have your authenticity and on point, if you're showing up on your stories unedited and you're trying it all, but you're still thinking, well, where are these people gonna come from? I'm a new creator, I'm a new entrepreneur, or, you know, I'm just getting started with this. Where am I supposed to find these people to listen to me? And you see that no one is coming. It's probably because you're not doing the third element of this formula, which is engaging two ways. And engaging two ways it sounds simple and you might think, okay, well, whatever, I'm just talking to people. But it has a little bit more to it, and it has to be done intentionally and not superficially. So I think that's where the little thin line is, that people don't know really how to do it in the right way. And it's kind of ironic because social media platforms are for that. They're meant to be social platforms where you interact with people in a social manner. So it's in the name, but people don't do it. So as a creator, if you're thinking, okay, where's my content going? How am I building this community? You need to check yourself first and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to go out of my way and interact with people. Two-way engagement can look like sending DMs to your new followers. It can look like saying hi to people who are joining your life. It can be like commenting on another competitor's, actually someone in your exact niche or that does jewelry, or another singer or another person just like you on social media, and commenting on their videos and telling them how you feel about that video. It's being intentional about how you're using social media in order to connect with people authentically still. Like,
so building a community, a lot of times people feel like it's building a community within potential clients or current clients or future customers. But that's not always the only way you can grow your community. It's also growing your community through people within your niche. So like Saja was saying, you can comment on their stuff, DM them, hey, I love this video, it's great, or whatever. And perhaps even going on lives with them. That's how you build a relationship. It's really about networking, building a relationship. Even like, for example, let's just say you are a mug brand and you're selling cups, handmade cups. Well, maybe you might want to partner with somebody who's trying to sell coffee, like homemade coffee, or tea, right? So you reach out to some companies, you say, oh, like, hey, like, you know, I really like your brand, and you start building a relationship with them that eventually might lead to maybe a collaboration in the future. So it's not only about building a community within for like future clients, but it's also building a community within your niche.
And that goes across all platforms. So one of the things that we're loving right now about social media platforms is that they're focusing on community building tools. So for example, you can join a group on Facebook. Now you can also have a broadcast channel on Instagram.
And on Clapper, you can have your own community.
Right from the start.
Where you can basically message people that and it's good because it's like instead of individually messaging somebody via DM, you can message them all at once. It's like an email blast, but like just with one click, like everyone that's within your community will be notified of something.
It's not just about using it, let's say, to promote your things, because the thing is, like we were saying before, there's a thin line with using these tools to just promote your things, and you're thinking of a blast. You're thinking of a blast. You're like, okay, I'll shoot my promotion to everyone in my community at once. That's not what we mean. What you need to do is really use these tools to connect as if, let's say, this was your family group, right? Everyone has a family WhatsApp channel or a family iMessage group or a best friends group or something like that, where everyone shares memes, they share their day-to-day, they share voice notes. That's what you need to be doing with these tools, because that's what's getting you closer in a personal way to all of your followers and vice versa. So essentially, you're building the rapport, you're building a more transparent connection there with your community, and you're building that trust so that when they are ready to purchase from you or when they are ready to talk about you, they're so convinced that you're like, you know what, like, I feel like it's my bestie.
Yeah. So we had like, for example, we had a client that was in the dentistry industry, and essentially she wanted to post like promos, and that's one thing that we always say: never post any salesy type of content. Nobody wants to see that, right? So instead, what you have to do is provide people with value. And how do you provide people with value? Well, it depends. It depends on what your industry is. So either it should be entertainment or educational. In her case, it could be a little bit of both, but mainly more educational because it would be dentistry. So what does she specialize? She specialized in cosmetic dentistry. So a lot of people are looking to get that done, but it is really expensive to get done. So, people, want to save for that. They want to educate themselves. They want to be, they want to make sure that they're going with the right person, that the right person is going to be taking care of them. So what kind of content are you going to post? Educational. So you got to take them on a journey. You got to answer. Sometimes we tell our clients, what are the top 10 or the top 20 questions that your clients have for you all the time? So it could be really anything. So within her industry, it was educational, the educational route that we took. We educated people on all the services and all the questions that they had so that when they were ready, when they had the money saved, they would reach out to her first because she was the one that has been educating them over the past year or 2 years. That's how long it could take. For example, who were you saying your iconic queen that did such a phenomenal job as of lately?
Not even my iconic queen. I feel like this is probably the queen of marketing currently, and there isn't a single day that goes by we don't hear her name or songs currently on the radio. Taylor Swift is just a master at this. So whenever Taylor Swift is on tour, currently is an example, she's interacting with her fans the whole way through. Her fans love to go hunt for little hints of where she's going to be. They love to hear little hints of different things she changes in her lyrics in the live concert. They love all of these interactions that she crafts for them. And she knows that by keeping on doing them intentionally, her fans are always going to be posting about it on social media. So what ends up happening, they share it on their stories. They have little lists within their group friends. Oh my God, what song was the secret song at your concert? Or, oh my God, like she said this time at the concert. And it just gets people raving about it and getting excited every time, even if it's the same concert over and over and over again. They know that they can anticipate something a little bit different every time. They know that she's going to be there to interact with her fans. Recently, actually, she posted on her stories very sad news that one of her fans had passed, unfortunately, before the concert. The fact that she addressed this on her stories, saying that she wouldn't be able to address it live, but she's so sad and so hurt, and she wishes that the fan could have been there. It makes people feel like they belong to a community that is cared for, and she ultimately does care for them by doing that, right?
And let's take a moment to also appreciate the fact that she is the master queen of repurposing content. Like if nobody believes in repurposing content, take Taylor Swift as an example. That Cruel Summer, right?
Cruel Summer.
That song is now like in the top 5 in Billboard, and that song was put out 6 years ago,
yeah,
and it didn't do well. But she reposted she
opened the concert with it.
She opened the concert with it, and she drop the album yet, or no, not even yet.
No, she did. It's just literally part of an older album, and it's trending because she opens the concert with it. So yeah, essentially, she's just overall a great example for marketing through and through,
just in general,
across all social media platforms. Take example on Taylor Swift and engage with your community. While we're in the topic of engagement 2 ways, the reason why it doesn't end up working most times for people is because they don't do it consistently enough. And they don't do it in an authentic way, like we mentioned before. So here are just a few things that you can start doing today as a smaller creator with all of your platforms to engage daily with your audience. So number 1, like we mentioned before, is go and actually follow creators that you enjoy and admire their work from, whether it's your an Etsy creator and you're crafting things and you want to follow other Etsy sellers, whether you're a singer and you want to go follow other people that make music, anything of that sort. Go follow people that are just like you doing content on social media and actually tell them how you feel about their videos. Don't be shy. People love to get feedback on all these things.
And one thing too is don't only like their posts, comment on it, because depending, like, you know, depending on how large of creator they are, they're going to see your comment and they're going to respond to you. And the more frequent that they see your comments, the more they know that, like, hey, they recognize you.
They're
And they
actually
do
paying
recognize
attention,
you.
yeah.
They do recognize you, because we get that all the time, even on our page. We're like, oh, this person really likes our content. They comment on our page regularly.
Another
So
thing that you can do along those lines is resharing people's stories and reels on your own stories and tagging them. So, for example, we went to the 50 Cent concert recently here in Poland, and we shot a bunch of clips and we tagged the concert's Instagram and 50 Cent's Instagram. And that's a pretty big brand. Like, that's a pretty big artist. So we were just thinking, okay, we're going to share it so that people, you know, they see the page, they see more content from the concert. And actually the Instagram page of the concert, the final lap, reshared one of our stories, and we were like, oh my god, look at that.
That's
They
so
reshared
cool,
our
yeah.
story, so they know that we were at the concert.
instantly we felt part of their community.
Yeah, instantly we felt like, oh my god, that's so cool. And you know, it's just about sharing things that you like. It's not necessarily, you're not doing it for the gratification only, you're doing it because it is relevant to your page. People are going to see these things on your stories, and not only is the original creator going to see this, but your audience is also going to benefit from this content. Maybe they're going to find inspiration from it. Maybe they're going to answer to that story now, and they're going to DM you and say, oh my god, that looks so sick. Oh my god, this is such a beautiful hat. And they're going to agree with you. The goal is to try and keep doing these things so that conversation becomes effortless, so that you're actually using your platform to the fullest for communication and to foster an authentic community. So when you start doing that daily, sharing on your stories, commenting on people's social media, DMing your new followers with an actual personalized note, go and check them out, see what they're all about, see if they're another fellow creator or if they're a fan, and thank them for joining your community. You know, do all of these things that you would do in person if you were meeting someone. You're not going to shake their hand and not look at them. You're going to say something, oh, I love your hair, I love your hat, or whatever. And do all of these things also within your online communities so that people feel looked after and that ultimately they'll want to interact furthermore. And what this is going to do for you is that after doing it on a daily basis for a long time, the algorithms are going to pick up on this. They're going to see you're interacting. They're going to see people that follow you are interacting with your content, and that is what's going to start pushing your content organically when you start pushing it. If you're not doing this, if you're not engaging yourself first with your content, with other people's content, then you can't expect people to do the same for you. And ultimately, applying great branding, applying authenticity, and like we mentioned, the engagement 2 ways.
And using all the tools that you have, like we mentioned before, that there's so many great tools that apps have created. And I know that you might be thinking, well, why create a Facebook community or a Clapper community? No one's going to join. Someone's going to join. And then another person's going to join. And by the time you know it, you're going to have a wonderful community. And that's really going to be the foundation of your brand. So get to it. Start an email newsletter, create those communities, broadcasting channels, and use everything that at your disposal.
Ultimately, if you're trying to build a strong community on social media nowadays and you're just getting started, whether you're starting a personal brand or this is for your business, no matter the reason, the 3 elements of the community building formula that we went over today are: number 1, amazing branding through and through, which means not only a unique look across the board that is standard across all your platforms, but also in your voice, in your mission, in what you stand for, in how you treat people in your DMs, and how you communicate with them, and how you go the extra mile for them. Number 2,
authenticity, just being yourself and really separating yourself from anybody within your niche or just any other company.
By being yourself all the time and being a lot more transparent than you think you should be. So if you're not looking professional, if you're looking a little bit kooky, that's okay, because you're going to always find the right audience for you, no matter what that looks like. And number 3, the most important one, literally the spark that lights your fire when it comes to community, is engaging 2 ways. You have to be the first one to go and talk to people, comment on people's social media posts, engage within their communities, join their lives, co-host a live, DM them, share their things to your stories. Use all of these tools that foster community just the same way you would do it in real life, but by using social media platforms in order to actually communicate with people the way they're meant to be used. And if you're looking for a nice reminder on how to do this on the daily, we actually have a great tool for you saved, which is completely free. It's an engagement checklist that you can download to just have on your phone or wherever you want it on your laptop. And you can just literally have a look at the checklist every day, do it for like 15 minutes, and you make sure that your engagement is done for the day. That way you never miss a step and you're building your community on the daily. If you want that tool, you can DM us. Leave a comment below if you're watching this on YouTube, and make sure you tune in for next week's episode, because we're going to be talking about how to build systems for your business to help you automate everything so that you have so much more free time and so that you can do everything.
And you can scale, most importantly.
With peace of mind in order to scale. So we're going to be talking about next week. If you want to join the series live to get the scoop before everyone,
join us on Clapper.
Is this an ASMR channel? Join us on Clapper, or you can watch the rewatch 1 week later afterwards on Spotify and YouTube.
Thank you for joining us on The Hub, and we'll see you next week.
Bye!